Of course, I would be more forgiving of CBS if they put out anything worth a shit. In return for it,
they're making those Star Trek shows people seem to be big fans of.
Bazinga.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And there again, Star Trek. That's not it's niche. It's less niche than it's ever been, but it's still niche. And I get that.
I'll throw down the gauntlet to enrage the Star Trek fans. Your fucking early first generation show, that critically acclaimed, super fan beloved new show you're watching. There's not a goddamn chance enough people sign up for CBS All Access to actually fund that show.
No.
That show is built on the backs of Big Bang Theory and other shit
and reality
like that.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Reality bullshit more than Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory actually has a fucking cast that they have to pay.
Well, you get paid on reality TV too, but that's a separate topic.
Yeah, but it's a smaller cast, and it's smaller everything.
Yes. What I'm saying is, the same show that people are super outraged about, they're making fun of us Star Trek fans. Yeah.
It's funding Star Trek.
Yeah, it's fun. That thing is fucking... Every time Sheldon says Bazinga, Star Trek goes, we got another season!
Yep.
Bazinga!
Yeah.
Did I use it right? Hello and welcome to the Wicked Awesomecast, episode 174. I have returned from the desolate lands of the Shadow Realm.
You actually watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
I have not.
Okay, so which of the where the hell were yous that were wrote in did you pick as your winner?
Somewhere between the Shadow Realm and the Anthem game lobby.
He didn't write in about either of those.
Huh?
No one wrote in about either of those.
Really? That's disappointing.
We had several ones that were better than that.
Yeah. I was lost in a parking lot of a Shakey's.
Wait, did you not listen to the first 10 minutes of the podcast so you could pick a winner?
No.
You lazy fuck.
I haven't listened to this week's podcast yet.
Fair enough.
Okay, so give me a summary.
I don't remember them anymore.
I'll go back and listen to it later.
Fair enough, anyway, we'll have a winner next week.
Yes. Hello and welcome to the Wicked Awesomecast, episode 174. I am Alex, a.k.a. Maeve Online, back and better than ever. Yeah. And the bar wasn't that high up, so really you're not
it's like a tripping hazard really than anything else.
Yeah, like a speed bump of podcasts, if you will. But yeah, I am also joined here today with Charlie, a.k.a. Mordak Undivided, and of course, Henry, a.k.a. Nomad Har, also a.k.a. Kraken Zero.
Hello.
Yeah, and we're here to deliver the best gaming news in a not-so-good way. Is that a good way to describe us?
Sure. As the editor for this podcast, I feel a tad attacked, but okay.
It's not you. It's me.
Yeah, last week's initial upload maybe says it is me, but...
but yeah,
we're
back.
By the time you're hearing this.
We've got some pretty good news this week. Some good stuff that's nice. Some EA doing EA things, of course, because EA.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, before we go into that, since I was gone, I would love to hear about your week.
I didn't do much since last week, really. You and I both played Shadowkeep, so I guess that'd probably be a transition point between me and you at that point. I played Call of Duty Mobile.
Call of Duty. Why would you check yourself?
I've heard that's actually pretty decent.
It's not terrible. I'm not sure I'd call it good, but it's not terrible. It is better than most other shooting games on a mobile phone I have played in my life. It's serviceable. It resembles some version of fun. I could not tell you a ton about that game. It is indeed Call of Duty on your phone. It's got all of the maps that people that know stuff about Call of Duty would know, like that one on the boat and that one in the town, and it's got the guns and the military-looking people. Okay, so it's a bit of a weird game, because I fucking dominated that game. Not that I'm good, but that I've played a first-person shooter before, I think, is my skill cap in that thing. So, there's no controller support. It's thumbs on face of your phone, doing the imaginary joystick swiping, etc., etc. It's a number of kind of encounters in that game can be diffused by ducking, because aiming in that game is not super great. There's no firing button. You automatically start shooting when your gun kind of scans over a person, and there's an AOS ADS, an aim down sights mode that is much more precision-y aimy. You can aim, and I think that's my advantage. I'm taking the time to actually aim and doing quite well in the game as a result of that. I have earned numerous kill streaks and dominated most of the matches I've been in because I bother to fucking do that, I guess is maybe the way of thinking of it. There's some weird stuff, occasionally you see people sniping in the game, and I'm like, but why? The range of all of these guns is ridiculous. Too ridiculous. It's better than Mario Kart Tour was. It is fucking ripe with microtransactions. It is thick and heavy with microtransactions, and it's a little bit gross in that regard, but I also don't know if Call of Duty is just like that at this point. It is the most fun I have had with a mobile game in a while, especially when it's pretending to be a mobile version of a more established franchise. It's fine. I had fun with it. I played it for a couple hours. I've been playing it on and off. It is a thing you can do. The match lengths are a little longer than maybe I want them to be, but that also seems to be I've been playing death matches where it's team kill up to 50. I'm walking away with 35, 40 of all the kills typically of a team of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're winning by 20, 30 kills with some frequency. Maybe it'll get harder if I level up more in that game, but all I know is the if there is indeed a skill-based matchmaking, whatever I am doing is not showing up as skilled, because I keep getting dropped into matches that are okay, I'm just team wiping constantly. But yeah, it's fine. It is definitely a mobile game. It is fun enough, I suppose. It's interesting. If you're curious, it's free. I'm having fun. It's on Android and Apple, and I'm assuming iPad or other phone systems at this point. It wants to link with your Facebook, if I remember correctly. I think I have a guest account signed up for it or something. I don't know. I had more fun than I was expecting to it. I heard about it. It was I should check this out for the podcast, and then proceeded to play 3 or 4 more hours of it and went, I'm not going to uninstall this just yet. This isn't terrible. If you're looking for a deep single-player thing or something you're not forced to play against other players with, not the game for you. It is, best I can tell, 100% multiplayer only, but it's free, and it's fine. And apparently you can play it on PC with a mouse and keyboard, which just makes you an ultimate god. There's some hack workaround for that, which is interesting. But, yeah, obviously I've been playing another game a lot more. Destiny Shadowkeep.
Destiny Shadowkeep has been fun.
Moon's fucking haunted.
Moon is indeed fucking haunted.
Moon is stupid haunted.
It's really haunted.
Yeah. I actually played with Alex for a change. Alex joined me in my Destinying. Have you played more since we played together or no?
Yeah, I've done a little bit. I finished up some other side quest stuff that I had just because I was going through it some more, but
now was a great time to be doing that shit.
Yeah, I'm working my way through the main story still. I feel like I need to get through that first.
Yeah, I have. I would recommend that. I've completed the Moon, the Shadowkeep story arc, the stuff you do on the Moon, hanging with Eris. I have completed that. I am immensely satisfied with the story they tell on the Moon. And if indeed the goal is that Shadowkeep is hey, here is the introductory story to what we're going to tell across this year's worth of seasons. It is exceedingly effective in setting all of that up, and it gives them a lot of places they can go. The ending for it is kind of a what the fuck. They do. There is, as much as I love Forsaken and Taken King, there is in some ways more story in this. You can probably bang the entire campaign out in 3 or 4 hours if you really dedicate to it. I took my time with it, and it took 3 or 4 days of just kind of playing at home after work, and I was definitely being slow with it, just exploring and poking around. Like, there's a lot there. I think there's more there if you've played. Like, the more Destiny you have played, the more the Moons campaign will mean to you. Like, there's some shit there that isn't even, like, that is references from, like, before Destiny 2 even happened. Like, it's, because the Moon has not been back since Destiny 1. Like, half the all the bosses, except for, like, maybe one or two that you fight on the Moon, are bosses from D1, and so when me and Alex were playing, actually, I kept asking what dialogue he was getting, because there's this thing called veteran dialogue in the game where your ghost is, like, smart enough to have known shit you did, and the two are unbelievably different. Like, what I'll call kind of the non-D1 veterans and the D1 veteran dialogue are just night and day. Like, it's the veteran stuff is just being like, holy shit, we killed you already, constantly, and it's great. And then Alex was like, oh, this is so-and-so. And I'm like, what is it telling you? I need to know what the non-veteran dialogue for this bullshit is. Yeah, there was a great moment where, like, I think it was Eris was explaining, like, the legacy of the Osmium Dynasty, which is the hive people you keep killing, and Alex got this story. I'm speaking for Alex. You can speak for his fucking self, I guess, too, if he wants. Like, it was it's a tale as old as time. Like, you worked with your family, etc., etc. And my version was, you've been butchering this family for, like, ever since you came back to life. Yeah, she's pissed at you. You killed her grandfather, her dad, both her uncles, her mom. No shit, Sherlock. I've been having a lot of fun with shit like that. Like, it's really fun. Like, there's been the most veteran stuff. Like, your Guardian actually talks a fair amount in this game, which I'm super happy about. In some kind of messed up ways, a bunch of, like, plot stuff that's been dangling in the franchise gets tied up. All of the quality of life changes they've made, except one I'm a big fan of, and I can't prove one isn't a glitch or I'm not wrong about something. Like, I swear I could carry more bounties at one point in time, but I could be totally making that shit up. I don't know. Like, just the overhaul of the game is unbelievably impressive. I'm not deep into Armor 2.0 yet, but I like what they're doing with it. It's the eShop, the kind of the collector, the shop is good, I think. The loop is greatly improved, where it's now about doing activities to get Bright Dust to buy kind of monetary things. I'm overall very pleased with it. I'm very pleased with what they've done for their first major thing post Activision. It's got a lot of heart to it, I think. It's got lots of fun fan service. You feel cool while playing it at multiple times. Like, for a veteran player, there's lots of fun throwbacks to stuff that, like, just feel left by the wayside, and it's back with a vengeance in this one. The number of holy shit, that thing's still there, or like, oh, we're about to go do X, aren't we? And then we went and did X, and I'm like, yeah! Destiny is now 5 years old, and it's kind of cool that they're willing to play with a nostalgic game of, like, yeah, we had a game that ran for 3 fucking years, and then we made a sequel. We can reference that game that came out now and have people be like, if you don't know it, it's new content. If you do know what we're referencing, you're like, nostalgia! And like, oh shit, I get to kill Omnigul again? Fucking yeah! Yeah, playing with Alex is fun too, because there would be moments where, like, we fought Omnigul at one point we were playing together, and Omnigul, for those who don't know, is it's a hive wizard who's just known for her ear-piercing shriek. Like, any Destiny 1 player who was playing before a certain point in time, like, you just say Omnigul and we all kind of shudder a little bit, because without fail, we all were playing with headphones at one point and had the volume up a little bit too high, and she would show up and just blow your eardrums out, kind of thing. And you were like, well, I'm deaf now for this entire fight. Great. And she showed up, and Alex was like, what the shit was that? And I'm like, yeah, it's Omnigul!
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun on it. Like, and the new armor system had me confused at first. I need to watch this. I need to get a little more informed on it.
I'm confused by it too, but in a good way. Like, I think I get what's going on. If there's one complaint I have, and it's such a weird complaint to have, it is that, like, you have to get through a lot of content in that game for any of the kind of, like, game changes like Armor 2.0 to be relevant. Because, like, there's no reason, like, they've made upgrading weapons and gear a lot harder, and there's a real argument to be made for you probably want to replace all of your armor with Armor 2.0 stuff sooner rather than later. Like all your existing armor is totally viable. So, like, I'm still using some of that gear, but the mod system and how it interworks and stuff is exceedingly important, especially with how like the artifact works. Like, I'm assuming you don't have the artifact yet, Alex, right?
No.
Yeah, I played easily 6 hours, and like again, like half of that was dicking around time, not really focusing too hard on just doing moon stuff before I got the artifact. Like, you have to make it a decent distance into the season pass before the artifact shows up, kind of thing, and that changes shit in a pretty meaningful way. Like, I also didn't know I had finisher mods for a surprisingly long time before the game was like, yo, we just gave you a finishing mod, go equip it. And I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, those things.
Yeah, the finisher mods are pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you have a finisher mod yet? You have a finisher, not a mod yet, I don't think, though.
No, I have a finisher mod.
You do? Cool.
When you use a finisher, it reloads all your guns and generates primary ammo.
That one's good.
Uses 1/10 of your super bar. Yep.
That's what I'm using, too. Yeah. So, probably the biggest change in some ways the game has is finishers. And I think Alex is a bigger fan of these than I am, but I think they're still cool as shit.
Love them. I plan on spending my money to buy more of them because I like them. Which is how it should work. Not required, but I like the way it looks. Therefore, I will spend my money because I like how it looks.
I just got a badass, like, scissor kick one through the season pass. I'm like, okay, yeah. If they make the right mod, if they make the right finisher, I will totally fucking buy it.
They have a drop kick one. Yeah. You literally run up and drop kick the shit out of
I'm looking
something.
at that one, I'm like, maybe.
I'm drop kicking a fucking wizard.
So,
just you
they're
wait.
pretty good. Doing that's real fun. Do the scissor kick move I have for servers is pretty fun too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for those confused, what the fuck a finisher is and why it's new to Destiny, they finally used the only button they weren't using on the controller, which was R3, and you can now damage enemies to the point where you can now do a finisher move on them. And rather than just being kind of a cool Mortal Kombat style fatality, they have tactical things like you can often take down a high health enemy a lot faster in some ways using a finisher, but the mod thing we were talking about is you can add little effects that like drain your super slightly to like generate heavy ammo for everyone, or everyone's weapons in your fire team reload and they have more primary ammo. It's really a cool thing that and I think my favorite part is you don't have to engage with it. Like, there's nothing in the game forcing you to use it. Like, you can turn off any mods, and it's just kind of a thing you have in the background you can do whenever the hell you want, which I was using for a while because I wasn't crazy about losing that much super, but it is something I never knew I wanted in Destiny, that now they have it, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is fun. I don't think you can use them in Crucible, I at least haven't tried that hard to use them in Crucible, but if you can, that'd be real fucking cool.
Use a finisher in Crucible? I'm pretty sure you can't.
Don't know. I haven't tried it. But yeah, no, I'm through the story campaign. I'm trying to get into the actual season stuff, which is the Vex invasion. This, in a good way, this expansion feels a lot more hands-off than previous ones do. There's a lot of kind of like, just go fucking figure this out, we're not telling you to do this shit moments, and I've really enjoyed those. One thing, I'm not sure if Alex even picked up, I only noticed it kind of by freak accident. There is a quest you pick up right when Shadowkeep starts that is essentially a tutorial for the game. It explains, like, yo, you're at, like, so-and-so power level now. You can only increase your power level from these activities. Which I found super fucking useful.
It is quite...
Yeah. Yeah, lots of smart changes. The game feels great. The cross-save stuff, I think, has been a great boon, too. It's free to play now on PC up to a certain point. Like, I think for the most part, like, including like the first mission of the moon, you can go to the moon without having spent money in that game. If you play the moon story, you have to spend money. Same goes with the Dreaming City and the Shattered Shore. Yeah, if you've ever been curious about Destiny, this is a great time to start playing it. You have the free-to-play game version of it comes with just a shit ton of content. It is all of year one of Destiny, which you're getting all the benefits of Armor 2.0 and Guns 2.0 and more supers and stuff, it's in a great spot. I think in a weird way, like things have been like showing this in like an annoying way. The game is at capacity with some frequency, which I didn't know that game could do. It has also been trending in the top, kind of for now at least, like people watching it on stuff like Twitch. I think it's one of the top concurrent player games right now on Steam right now as well.
Yeah, I know it was big on Twitch because they were streaming the raid.
Yeah, that's happening right now, technically.
It's done now.
I think someone, yeah, I was gonna say, I think someone won.
Yeah, they already won. It was a PC clan.
Yeah, it's always a PC clan at this point.
Yeah.
No, it's... there's a reason they do 3 world firsts. The PC gamers have a slight advantage over the non-PC gamers. And its jumping is easier on PC. Because it's just a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a like, it's still... The raids are still hard across the board. I've actually found PC gamers to be worse at raiding, which is a little depressing. Yeah. Yeah, that's been most of what I've been up to. Who wants to go next?
Sure, I can. Yeah, I'll go. All right, so I didn't get up to too much this past week. Game-wise, I'm still playing Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters Daybreak special gigs.
How special are them gigs?
It's awesome. The deeper I'm getting into the game, the more I'm liking it. So it definitely has the addictive, very addictive tactical RPG parts where you can level up your individual characters. You can teach them new kind of abilities. You can train essentially. So yeah, there's several mechanics that you can do in the office. Once you are a part of the group, the Ghost Hunters group, you have the ability to sort of train up on... There's tons of skills, and some of them involve like getting more, like the ability to get more money per gig that you take part in. Because that's essentially, I mean, the thing is, like, you're a ghost hunter, like, you actually hunt down ghosts, and you make money off of that, and make money in other, things that basically are money, and you use them to buy more stuff. But then you have abilities, you have tons of skills. Some of them also involve stuff for, you're also producing a cult magazine.
A cult or occult?
Occult.
Okay.
Occult.
You said a cult. I'm like, that's a weird turn.
No, occult magazine. So you produce an occult magazine, and that's also a part of it. And so some of the skills are related to that, like proofreading. That's a thing. That's a skill you can gain in the game. And so, you have to have certain type of points to spend to upgrade the skills. You upgrade the skills by training with another member of the squad, essentially. And that member essentially has certain skills that they can teach you, or increase your level on. So there's a lot of room there. I mean, it's now that I'm getting into the game proper, it's like, wow, there's a lot here. There's a ton here.
So is there normal kind of RPG style progression, or is it just the training stuff to level your character?
There is RPG style progression. That is, you have an overall level but you have separate levels for each of your abilities. So a separate experience essentially that you gain for your abilities. And so, there is an overall level that your character has as well. So it is ridiculously detailed and in depth. But in order to train, one of the ways that you can get points that allow you to train is there's a game within the game. There's a board game. It's actually kind of a neat little board game. It's a 4-player board, 5-player board game, and it's basically themed like, all right, so the tide. I can't remember the name of it right now, but essentially it's a 4 versus 1 game. So one person controls 4 ghosts, and one of those ghosts is sort of a main ghost.
Okay.
And then the 4 other people play ghost hunters. in this board game within the game, and each of the ghost hunters has essentially an attack and defense, or attack and movement points, a base attack, base movement points that they can use, and each of them is based on sort of a trope of a ghost hunter. So one of them is definitely a Ghostbuster, like definitely just blatantly, it's a Ghostbuster. One of them is brothers who are obviously the brothers from Supernatural, and
Hunters,
I like
got it.
that. Yeah, they're the hunters. It's obviously Dean, and yeah, I mean, so I'm a fan of Supernatural, so yeah, it's definitely the brothers from Supernatural, but it's just called the brothers.
Mm.
And then the third one is just sort of a lone hunter type, which is, I guess that's kind of your
Van Helsing type. Like, so it's the three kind of pop culture ghost hunters.
And then one of them is a nun.
The four pop culture ghost hunters. Got it.
Exorcism type.
Yep. I was gonna say,
so they kind of got that covered. So that's, but essentially the way the game within the game works is you can't see the ghosts on the board. It's laid out in a grid, and so your movement points allow you to move around. When you get close to a ghost, you will hear them of a sort. There'll be a clue beside the ghost's name, and so you can kind of figure out maybe where they might be. And so once you land on a square, you have the option to attack that square. And if a ghost is in that square, then you'll attack them. If there isn't, you just kind of swing and miss. And so the hunters get a turn, and then the ghosts get a turn. But yeah, you don't get to see where the ghosts are or where they move. And so, but yeah, it's a asynchronous, 4-on-1 game, but as a board game, and it actually works out pretty well. It's actually pretty fun to play. I'm terrible at it. Holy crap, I can't seem to kill any ghosts. But yeah, the board game itself, it's like it would be hard to pull off as an actual board game because, I guess not that hard. It's mainly that the person controlling the ghost would need an alternate way to keep track of where their ghost is instead of putting their ghost on the board proper. But yeah, that's the big thing. Because like I said, it's kind of like Battleship, essentially. That part of it reminds me of Battleship. You don't know where the ghosts are. You can't see them. You just have to kind of swing when you're in a particular spot. Also, there's multiple tile types when you land on them that have different effects. Some of them have terrain effects like, increasing or decreasing damage, or healing you, or some of them are just hard, like they take more movement points to walk across. And so it's within this already ridiculously in-depth, detailed game, there's an in-depth, detailed board game. So, yeah, I can see why this, didn't get super popular. I mean, in the same way that this Gaia never, is really popular, but it's not like everybody's played it. Because, I mean, tactical RPGs... tactical RPGs aren't for everyone. They are super, super my thing. But, yeah, I'm still also terrible at the dating sim aspect of it. I don't always seem to be able to choose the right action to do when it comes up. It's like, I don't know I still haven't figured out completely what all of the icons do necessarily, or when I should use them. That part of it has been the most obscure and confusing. So, the one thing I've managed to do well is shake people's hands, like when I meet them. Is I'll go to the icon, so I'll go to the friend. So in the first level of the menu is like there's like a obvious one that looks like friendship, one of them looks like love, one of them just an eye, which I guess just means you're just observing. And then once you go into those, then there's several icons which are things to do, like talk or use your hand, I guess. And so I've done the friend and then use hand, and I've successfully shook people's hands that I've met. So I'm like, yay, I figured out a thing that I should probably do. instead of accidentally apparently trying to kiss everybody I meet. Because I thought that icon was talk, not kiss.
Is it always handshake?
Well, when I've used it, when I've first met somebody, it's worked that way.
Okay, so there's no chance it's going to be like backhand that fucker.
No, actually, no, I did one time, and I wasn't sure what to do, so I was just like, I'll try this. And it's just like, I just put my hand on the person, apparently, and they're like, they kind of responded as strangely as you would if I just suddenly just laid my hand on your shoulder.
That would be creepy.
Yeah, though, you do that in conversation, you'll put your hand on somebody's shoulder or something, that's the thing that happens. But that part of the game, the dating sim aspect of the game, I'm still at a total loss on. It's like, I don't actually know the appropriate thing or the appropriate action to take part in. But I love this game, though. It's a great game. It came out 2 years ago, so it's not particularly new.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, it's been super fun, and I like the story. I like the characters, too. Like, it's the hunters themselves are a motley crew of outcasts, as you'd expect for people that are both ghost hunters and people that run an occult magazine. So,
I feel like one just serves the other. Like, it's...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's obvious, yeah. But, it's a cool cast of characters. The system itself and the battles themselves, it's just really cool. And, I'm going to continue playing that. I'm just kind of playing through a chapter at a time. So, that's cool. So, and as far as other games, I didn't really play too much more. I played some Slay the Spire with some mods, because there's plenty of very cool mods for Slay the Spire. And I can just pick it up. It's a game you can just pick up and play for a bit, and it doesn't matter, it's not... Yeah. So, as far as other things, I watched a show on Crunchyroll. It's called As Miss Beelzebub Likes It. So it is as you may surmise from the title, it is about demons, but it's about super cute demons, and it kind of works like civil servants. Like civil servants, like in the government, like working in a local government administration, and that's what it plays out like. So it's just super kind of cutesy, and it's heartwarming, and it's nice, and the way it portrays the demon world is, it's just like the normal world. It's just like, there's just more magic involved, but it doesn't even have that much magic going on in the show itself. It's just mainly like, here's the daily lives of civil servant demons. And the one in particular, the Beelzebub, she is like super like into cute stuff and fluffy like animals, like dogs, like Pomeranians and stuff, and alpacas, like cute fluffy animals. And so that's her thing. And there's a pretty cute little cast of characters, and it's just kind of lighthearted and nice, but also it's like very much sort of slice of life if you're also have ever worked in a government job ever. But and oddly enough, this is not the first show that I've watched about civil servants. I've watched several now. Anime, like in particular, I've watched several anime about civil servants, but this one's neat because it has a little bit of a supernatural aspect. All the characters are named after some sort of famous demon, one or another, but it's fun, and it's on Crunchyroll, and I have Crunchyroll premium account, so I can watch the stuff without commercials and such, but which for me is worth it. But it's a nice little show. I've been enjoying it, and I've watched. It's not very long series. It's one of those smaller run series, so it's probably not going to get a second thing. There's a couple of series that I'm going to be checking out that are coming out that are brand new coming out, but yep.
All right.
A band that I like quite a bit just recently put out some new songs and that are going to be on a new album. The Chromatics. A band called Chromatics, and you can check out their music on the YouTube channel for their label, which is Italians do it better music. But yeah, there's a lot of cool bands on there, and it's hard to describe what type of music it is. It's super chill, though. It's very, very chill. And it's cool stuff, and Chromatics put out some really cool music, so I'm a fan. But yeah, so yeah, and even when my friends mention, it's like, you have an eclectic like mix of music that you listen to. I'm like, yep, yeah. There's probably some genres I hardly listen to at all, but I do listen to a lot of different stuff. I mean, I'm mainly known as a metalhead, but I listen to a lot more than metal. So, but yeah, that's. So I was pretty excited about that. Like, a video just came out on Friday. I was like, ooh, a new song, and it was super cool. Nice, it's a good song. Yeah. But yeah, I'd recommend checking them out too. I do listen to a lot of music. Music is definitely an important thing to me. But anyways, that's pretty much for my week.
Alex?
All right, well, let's see. So last week, I had mentioned before that actually I had family come down to visit.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of fun. We went to go check out Multnomah Falls, took them over to Trillium Lake, drove them through like downtown Portland for a bit, but not very long because I hate going through downtown Portland. Personally.
Yeah.
But like I was taking them like to one of the downtowns that I had near, and they're like, it's like the small towns in the movies. I'm like, yeah, it's a very nice little wholesome small town. Like, for example, if you ever Google Maps downtown Oregon City, it very much is that feel of like an old school movies. Like, you could totally see like origin story Captain America shot there or something kind of look. Even though his is New York, but it's like a small town kind of feel. Like, it's really nice. So, I got to hang out with my sister's kid, who is 9 months old, and she is adorable, and she pulls on my beard. She's great. So now everybody's been giving me like, oh, so you have baby fever now? I'm like, kinda, like, but it's just mainly because she's here and she's adorable. But yeah, it was fun. It was nice to see my family, and of course my family now is like, your sister had a kid. When are you gonna have a kid? Oh yeah, that conversation I knew was gonna come up. But yeah, no, overall it was really nice. Like, I ended up taking the whole week off of work, so I was able to spend time with them, and I took them to a bunch of local places to go eat, which was really nice. We had some pretty good Thai place. We had a pretty good like Hawaiian place, some steaks here and there. Like, it was nice, and it worked out too because my dad's birthday was one of the days here. So overall, we had a lot of fun. I also realized my family is very much like I am, where like if we schedule a specific time to like meet up and go, we'll be like, all right, well, it's around that time frame that'll work. So my parents would hit me up just before like noon and be like, it's gonna be like 12:30. Like, okay. And that drives my girlfriend a little bit crazy because she's super like time punctual, and I've always been a little more flexible at timelines. So yeah. But yeah, it was just a good time. I didn't take a lot of pictures, but mainly because I've kind of had this attitude recently about it where I kind of would just rather be there in that moment and enjoy it rather than just focusing on tons of pictures everywhere. Well, pictures aren't bad, but like I just kind of like basking in the moment and stuff. So probably why I don't post as much stuff recently on like social media stuff. I post random bullshit instead of actual things. I just kind of sit around and enjoy stuff. So, and let's see. Took him back to the airport. That was a fun little adventure. My car died the day I was supposed to take him to the airport, so that was fun. Good times. But yeah, no, overall, real life stuff was good. I actually didn't raid on WoW that week either, and didn't really do a lot of stuff. I played a little bit of games here and there, but it's only when like they had gone back to their hotel to sleep for the night kind of thing. So, but after they left, I did get some gaming in, and I'm happy to announce the guild is now 7 out of 8 mythic on Ashara, so now we are at Ashara. So that is going to be a fun fight when it comes to that. So as we get closer and closer, I'm going to be streaming some more of it. But yeah, this week I was just kind of like, on the streaming. I did stream Tuesday though with Charlie, and we did have some fun Shadowkeep shenanigans. So that was cool. I did see that the moon was in fact very haunted.
Stupid haunted. I was a little sad.
really-
There's some fun jump scares that just didn't happen when I was hoping they were going to happen to Alex.
I know. So there was this one patrol that Charlie told me to go pick up, and I went to go pick it up, and I got it, and he's like, "Did it happen?" I'm like, "What? Like, what did it say?" I'm like, "Oh, I just kind of cried about something," and Charlie was pissed because when he picked it up, I guess the NPC screamed at him.
So I
Really?
light spoiler, but so the way Destiny, the moon is handling this thing called patrols, and they're hot garbage typically when it comes to Destiny, and Forsaken fixed them a little bit, but on the moon you are literally getting like little micro quests from ghosts, and the ghost dialogue corresponds to what the quest is. So if you get one of the easiest kind of patrols you can get is just kill a bunch of enemies, and the dialogue that goes with those is it is a person like freaking the fuck out about how they're about to die to overwhelming odds, and it's creepy as hell.
Whoa. That's actually pretty amazing. That's actually really cool. That's a neat idea.
Again, like it's to someone like Alex, it's like, oh yeah, cool, ghosts on the moon giving me quests, whatever. To me, as someone who's played a shit ton of Destiny and is like deep into that lore, it's like, oh shit, this is the original moon team we're dealing with. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's really cool because I guess it's one of those things where like these ghosts are trapped in the time before they died kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're just red floating spirits around the moon. Like that's what they are. So like they pop up here and there and you're interacting with them. But like, yeah, I didn't scream at me, but I guess Charlie had one scream
There
at
are
him.
ones that are like super fucked up and like just rambling about how they're about to die and get torn from limb from limb and shit like that. It's like cool's the wrong word, but it's fucking cool. Like
it's creepy. Cool.
Yeah,
like,
and me and Alex aren't just being like going along with the meme. We say the moon is haunted. The moon is legit haunted.
Yeah, there are red fucking ghosts everywhere.
Everywhere. We're not talking like you'll see one every 10 seconds. They are literally everywhere. It's like, man. And again, from lore standpoint of Destiny, it's like, yeah, thousands of Guardians went to the moon and got snuffed out. It's like, yeah, there are fucking thousands of ghosts here.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually pretty trippy because, like, I guess the main character, Eris, as she's walking around, she gets haunted by more and more ghosts.
Have you seen the fucking meme that's inspired?
No, but, like, last time I saw her, she had 5 ghosts that were following her, and they just occasionally keep whispering shit to her, and she eventually just like, leave me alone, and just yells out.
So there's a porn actress named Piper Perry, I think, or something, who is this tiny, like, 4'5" woman, there's a picture of her, like, it's her on a couch with, like, just, like, 10 huge jack dudes around her, and people keep, putting that above the Eris thing, where it's like, it's basically the same thing, and I'm like, you're not wrong!
It is, that's fucking great. But yeah, and it's also kind of trippy because like these ghosts, they don't have faces. They're just like red, like shades of like mist or whatever.
So if you look close, they're in the armor. Like they're guardians. Like they have the guardian armor.
Yeah,
it's just like super not detailed because they're ghosts.
Yeah, it's like it's detailed enough that you could make out the shapes. Like okay, that's a head, that's shoulder armor.
Well, you can go deeper. One's a Titan, like one's a
face.
hunter, one's a warlock. You can tell what class they are.
Yeah. So. But it's fun, and I do like there's one little detail I do particularly enjoy, and I don't think it gets enough credit. But if you jump or walk through a red spirit, your vision gets distorted slightly.
I have not done that yet because I have been deliberately avoiding doing that. I'm like, I ain't walking through no ghost.
I've walked through as many as I can,
Fair
and
enough.
I thought maybe it was a first thing cinematic. But if you walk through them, like your vision gets darkened and distorted slightly.
I did not know they did that. That is fucking cool. I'm gonna have to go try that now.
But not enough where you can't see something. But like so you know how like when you go to the is it the Vex who have those weird space portal things? Is the Vex or the Taken? No, it's the Taken.
Oh yes,
So you know how you walk up to the Taken, like if there's a wall of like Taken space
bubbles,
stuff there, and you go there, and your vision gets distorted because it looks like you're looking through a portal. You know what I'm talking about, Charlie?
Yeah, I do.
Same concept with the ghost. But yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's little attention to detail like that I particularly enjoy about Destiny 2 and all that. So, yeah, no, it's fun. I I recommend it. Charlie recommends it.
Yeah, it's so good.
So, if you like the moon being fucking haunted,
And again, like, we're not talking like a light haunting. We're talking stupid haunted.
we're like 13 ghosts times a couple thousand.
A ghost squared level of haunted. Like, the ghosts are being haunted by ghosts. Like, the ghosts are like, man, this shit is haunted and not just by me.
So,
yeah.
Other than that, I mean, like I said, I spent the majority of my week when I was gone with family and had a good time. And now I'm back playing some video games. I'm probably going to play some WoW later today after the podcast, and definitely some Destiny 2.
Yeah, let me know when you get on, because I will happily play more. I'm kind of grinding stuff out at this point.
Gotcha.
Getting back to my love of Gambit. I get my gear back to not guards. That's been the hardest thing for me, is I'm running around in fucking just garbage, unoptimized gear, and I'm like, oh, this game is so different when I can't get 3 supers to strike.
Yeah, I need to study the fucking Armor 2.0 setups so I can really make
the first step is get to 900 and then go from there, because that's the first soft cap.
Gotcha. But yeah, other than that, that's it for me. I think we can jump into some news now.
Oh, can we?
Can we?
News, you say?
News!
I don't even know where to start this week, so we're gonna start with sad Nintendo news.
Oh.
John Kirby, a Nintendo lawyer who Kirby gets his namesake from, has passed. This is not news beyond the fact that, holy shit, Kirby's named after someone. I didn't know this.
I didn't actually know that.
Neither did I. I'm like, huh, okay.
I would have thought, like, when you say John Kirby, it reminded me of Jack Kirby, the guy from Marvel. I'm like, he's been dead, right?
Yeah.
It took a sec to process that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sucks. Long-time lawyer John Kirby. Not to be confused with Jack Kirby like I did.
And apparently he was an awesome lawyer. I mean, I'm looking at what he actually did. Like, he was involved in the civil rights era. Like, he is an important figure apparently there. So that's amazing. That's actually really cool.
Yeah,
I like reading about history.
Like, jokes aside about how Kirby's fucking named after him, like, dude did a shit ton of good aside from inspiring Kirby's name. Like, but also, as part of that, I now know there's a Kirby scholarship fund out there, which is hilarious to think there's a Kirby out there being like, I'm gonna suck things up and then give it to children so they can go to school. That sounded dirtier than I intended it to. Alright, what next? Let's burn through our quick ones, I guess. Hey, Henry, remember we talked about how Rockstar starting their own launcher probably meant Red Dead Redemption 2 was coming to PC?
Yeah?
Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC.
Yeah!
I might actually play it now. Though, not with my current setup.
I don't know. The more time I've had from Red Dead Redemption 2, the more I'm like, I don't know if I actually want... I'm not sure if I'm happy I spent as much time playing it as I did. But you'll get to decide for yourself on November 5th. It's coming soon.
That is real soon.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week. Rockstar just announced their own game launcher, and it's like, yeah, obviously this means Red Dead is coming to PC.
Now, did you see the aggressive marketing campaign they have going on with that?
No? Just the San Andreas thing, right?
No. So, like, okay, hold on. Let me find that. So what they're doing is they're doing a 1-month exclusive with the Rockstar launcher as opposed to
I thought you were talking about something
Steam.
else. Yeah, it's Rockstar launcher exclusive at first, but you can then pre-order on the Epic Games Store or the Humble Store.
No, not it. Well, it's going to be on. Are they going to be on the Epic Store as well?
Yes, it comes to Steam in December.
Yeah,
and it's also
but
coming
their first
to
launch
Stadia
is only the
eventually.
Rockstar Store.
Yeah, it's exclusive to the launcher first. Honestly, if I was them, I would just see how it does on their launcher first and then go from there. Like, I suspect you don't have to bother bringing it to other platforms ultimately. But we'll see.
So, yeah, they're offering a bunch of stuff, too. Like, if you get... if you buy GTA... Sorry. If you buy Red Dead Redemption 2... Where was it? I was trying to find the article, but they were talking about how if you do that, you get free copies of a bunch of their other games as well.
Sure.
So, what is it? Oh, yeah. If you pre-order before October 22nd, you'll receive bonuses as far as free classic Rockstar games like GTA 3, Vice City, Max Payne 3, and you'll get a bunch of other stuff like for the other games, like special items or something.
Like,
so
honestly, if I was them, I would just bundle this where it's like, hey, if you buy Red Dead, we'll give you Grand Theft Auto 5 for free.
Yeah, it's like a big push for
You
some
get
of that
people
stuff,
to
which
move
is-
off Steam for Grand Theft Auto 5 forever. So they get all of the shark money at that point.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. They're going to push the launcher to it, but hey, I mean,
The times they are changing.
Everyone's got a launcher now.
Yeah. Kind of makes you wish it was just the Epic Store and the Steam Store, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking
well,
dog
you
galaxy
already
is
had-
becoming
you
more
already
and more
had-
relevant by the second.
You already had Steam doing something with the Rockstar game launcher anyway, so that's always been a thing. Had it with Ubisoft games, it doesn't bother me. That's the thing, though. It's they still work. You can buy them side by side. My problem is the exclusivity and the shady shit that goes on with that exclusivity, which I've talked about several.
But Alex, it's not on Steam first, which means it's bad.
Yeah, a month wait, not so bad. A year locked out, that's a big fucking difference.
No, it's bad.
Epic's still bad.
Why are launchers ruining the game industry?
Epic's still bad. Gamers rise up. Bottom text.
Dude, I've been
Whatever
spending
other
way
fucking
too much
meme.
time in Gaming Circle Jerk on Reddit, and it is beautiful in there.
Oh no, you should go to the Gamers Rise Up subreddit. That one's
The gamer
Next level.
Gaming Circle Jerk is where the funny stuff that, like, out of context is like sci funny gets brought to, because I don't want to deal with Gamers Rise Up, because that's people being
Gamers Rise
serious.
Up is absolutely no. It's absolutely a fucking
I
parody.
don't
of
think
itself.
it is.
Yes, it is. Everything I've seen on there, there are some
No,
people there
I think
that
it's
are.
funny for you. I think that stuff is serious.
We can agree to disagree on that one. They post.
I will check it out. That's the issue. Like, I go to the ones that are intentionally making fun of those subreddits because, oh, good God.
So then we need to start Gamers Rise Up Circle Jerk.
That's already Gaming Circle Jerk. Moving on from that. What if I told you Call of Duty Mobile already had 34 million downloads?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I guess people
Which
like
one?
that game.
Call of Duty Mobile, the one I was playing earlier this week.
Ah, damn it. Activision bad.
Yeah.
Bottom text.
Should every
Use that-
Activision game that comes out this year be like blah 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 video game, subtitle Activision bad?
Yeah, just wait till BlizzCon. I'm gonna be like, WoW expansion bad.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna buy that shit because I'm an idiot.
They got you hooked.
I at least know what my vice is. Yeah.
Well, the first step is admitting it,
Yeah.
Mm,
but apparently the next step is admitting it and not really caring.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess speaking of admitting it and not really caring, that's a weird transition, but follow me on this one. Let's talk about Randy Pitchford and Gearbox in Borderlands 3. Again, a reminder, there are many reasons to not like Borderlands 3. It being on the Epic Store and not Steam is not one of them, because there are far more legitimate reasons out there to be mad at that game.
I mean, I have the Epic launcher anyways. That doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it's on my
I'm more just
computer to
continuing our
begin with.
bad joke, and I get a little reprieve this week at least because the Randy Pitchford lawsuit, the original one that alleged pedophilia and had flash drives lost in medieval times, and alleged medieval times was a restaurant and not an experience. That one appears to be going away. Pitchford and the lawyer he was suing, whose name I'm trying to figure out, Wade Callender, have decided to settle, and by settle I mean a judge essentially threw the goddamn thing out of court. It was decided to be frivolous and dumb and a waste of the court's time. Yep.
Well, no, I mean, both sides agreed to a motion of dismissal.
Yes, but there was more than that too. Like, it's where is it? There's a court aspect of this where it can't be brought up again either. Like, it's not just mutual dismissal.
Oh yeah, it's been dismissed with prejudice.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah.
Yeah. But both sides kind of requested that, and I don't know what to think about that other than probably. I mean, the problem is, I'm going to say that the plaintiff, Wade Callender, probably doesn't ultimately have the money to go up against a multi-million dollar company like Gearbox Software.
Let's remind you of how fucking weird this lawsuit is. Like, it started off as Wade Callender was terminated for appropriating funds for a whole variety of weird things, ranging from like high-end food to gym memberships. And the countersuit included alleged allegations of pedophilia, appropriating Gearbox funds to make weird additions to his house. This is on the Randy Pitchford side of things. Just kind of all types of crazy stuff. And like part of this with prejudice thing is the fact that it's basically said, like, remember, Gearbox is not a publicly traded company. Randy Pitchford has a lot more rights to the money there, kind of thing, than he would if it was a non-publicly traded company, or if it was a publicly traded company. Like, it's never forget, like, and this is kind of a weird thing to remember, if you are the sole owner of a company, it's your company, and you can run it into the ground if you want. I don't recommend doing that. But so that's the end of Gearbox lawsuit news this week, right?
Yeah!
Right? If my fake joke hadn't cued you in, Gearbox is facing another lawsuit hot on the heels of that previous lawsuit. Take us away on this one, Henry.
Alright, so we have now Bobby Prince, who is the composer behind the soundtracks of Doom, Wolfenstein 3D, Duke Nukem 3D, and many more, has filed a lawsuit against Gearbox. So this is a guy who's done a lot of modern work in music. And so the lawsuit essentially is saying that Gearbox used his compositions in a Duke Nukem 3D release, but did not compensate him for his work, so he didn't receive any royalties.
Ooh.
And so specifically, it says that Gearbox and Pitchford himself admitted that they don't have the actual license for the music that they used in the Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour, which is a re-release of the game, and then refused to remove his music from the game when he asked them. So Valve is also embroiled in this one because he had his lawyer, Prince had his lawyer send a takedown notice to Valve, to take down the game, this 20th anniversary whatever version game for Duke Nukem 3D. So what it comes down to is he created music and sound effects for the original Duke Nukem 3D game, and we're talking about the one back in the mid-90s. And his agreement that he had with him was actually that he retained his rights. So it wasn't like he created the music, which is, there's a very common thing in, making for games and for movies or especially for games where it's like you write some music, but it's just kind of, the ownership remains with the company. But in this case, he kept the ownership of the music he created for Duke Nukem 3D, and he should receive royalties for it. So Gearbox re-released, this old 90s, version Duke Nukem 3D, but did not acquire the proper license to use his music and has not been paying him royalties. So this one's not in the weird, out there, like that other lawsuit that we're just talking about. This one's pretty clear. This one's pretty darn clear. So, this one's going to be an open and shut case, it sounds like. Like, all he has to say is, here's the paper saying that I own this music, and here's the absolute proof that I'm not getting paid for it, that you didn't get the right license. Yep. So that's that lawsuit. This one sounds like this one's a pretty simple one. The composer, Bobby Prince, made the music, owns the music. He has documentation showing that I still own the rights to that music, and I'm owed royalties for your re-release of that game because it includes my music. But the suit also alleges that he went to them. He did go to them and say, "Hey, this is, my music's in there, you got to pay me. And they're like, yeah, and they kind of apparently said they would eventually get the proper license. They never did. So this is a much simpler case. This one's this one's like, it sounds like that's pretty much what happened. And that's pretty scummy, considering that it wasn't a issue of ignorance. That is, which, at this level, for a company of that size, you aren't ignorant of the legal and monetary issues with getting the rights to a game and releasing it. They discussed things, but apparently, according to, allegedly, according to Prince, they said that they were going to do it, and then they, get the proper licensing, but then they didn't, and then didn't pay him anything. So that's pretty scummy, but pretty clear. I think he's just going to win this case. So, yep, well done. Way to still be complete garbage, Randy Pitchford. Stop buying his games, please. God. This is... I just have to say it again. Don't buy games from bad people. Don't buy products from bad people. Why do people keep doing this? They'll never learn. You'll never teach them a lesson if you just say, if you slap them on the wrist, but then here's $50 million.
Let's throw the asterisk of this is a filing. There's no been ruling on this yet. I hate to be the voice on this.
But we know he's garbage. And this one's pretty clear. I'm going to say that this one's going to come out. They're just going to lose this case.
We'll see.
But Randy Pitchford is a garbage human being, and that's well established, and we shouldn't be paying him money. Nobody should be paying him money.
Ross, at the same time, remember Gearbox is made up of more people than Randy Pitchford. But yes, it is, as we say every time we talk about this type of stuff, these are things we now have to consider when we buy games from Gearbox.
Yeah, I've always considered that. I on pretty much everything I buy, but in any case. But yeah, but you know what?
We're not done yet.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, there's more. So, I thought this maybe broke last week. We just didn't talk about it, but maybe it's more recent than that. So Troy Baker was supposed to voice Reese because he helped develop the character of Reese for Tales from the Borderlands. And he did not return for that role because, in Randy Pitchford's words, no one will notice if it's not him, and they didn't want to go through the process of dealing with SAG-AFTRA and all that jazz to get kind of returning voice actors in the game. This one's pretty fucking scummy, especially because if you go and play Tales from the Borderlands, Reese is one of the two main characters, and Troy Baker has a fuck ton of lines as a result.
Yeah, but apparently, they had discussions with SAG-AFTRA, and they confirmed that Gearbox refused to even talk with them about running a union, union system, about hiring union, because
remember, this is not the first time that Gearbox has just kind of chosen to, I don't want to say slight, but I can't think of a better word right now, returning voice actors for various characters. Like Claptrap, love him or hate him, had a different voice actor because they weren't willing to pay the guy that voiced him previously kind of industry rate because he no longer worked for Gearbox.
Yep. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, this is clearly an anti-union move, because the thing is like, union members, I know this, I know people that are SAG, and they can't take a non-union role. They can't take a non-union gig. They can only accept union work.
Well, they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to. That's solidarity, and for good reason. Especially voice actors. And I'm glad that SAG covers voice actors. They have for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because voice actors are often underpaid, underutilized. It's just not well respected.
I think we talked about. I think this was before you joined the podcast, Henry. But there was a big ongoing situation involving. Maybe this was after you joined. Voice actors and unionization and kind of the video game industry was a big topic for a while.
Yeah, but the thing is, see, originally Gearbox said he turned it down. He just turned down the role. And that, there again, super scummy. Way to be scummy again, Randy Pitchford, you freaking scumbag. Yeah, and so instead of disclosing that he had to turn it down because we don't want to hire union people. And that's garbage. And yep, well, way to still be garbage there again. Don't buy from this company. They're terrible. I mean, this one especially irritates me. It really makes me angry because I am a strong supporter of unions. In general, I've made it really clear here on the podcast because I've talked about the need, and we've all talked about the need for there to be a video game developers union. But I mean that's the thing.
So,
I mean, we're going to see this.
Let's use that as a transition point, I guess, because we have another union topic this week.
Yep.
We're going to jump across the ocean to the UK and their Independent Workers Union. They filed allegations. They've accused Us2 Games of union busting. Us2 is most famous for Monument Valley, a mobile game that I'm a huge fan of. But yeah, so you're kind of our resident expert on union shit, Henry. You want to cover this one?
All right. So the report says that a senior programmer at Us2, Austin Kilmore, who's also who's the branch chair and founding member for the union's division for the Independent Workers Union division that's specifically for game developers called the Game Workers Unite branch, suffered victimization and unfair dismissal. And so, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I mean that is union busting. When you fire somebody for being a part of a union, that's union busting. So, yeah, as I said, this is a person who is integral, very integral to rolling in game developers into the Independent Workers Union. And so, yeah, according to the report, and this is a report from the Independent Workers Union, so the Us2's Human Resources Department, they didn't like his focus on company feedback, diversity schemes, and working practices. Ooh. It feels that Austin is a self-appointed bastion of change and sometimes speaks on behalf of others. That's... yeah. Oh, even worse. All right, so there's an update on this, too. So this is a union rep has made the statement that Kelmore did not have access to the rep because he didn't know the initial meeting was disciplinary. So that's even more scummy. So he didn't actually have. Yeah. Wow. I mean that's clear. If his allegations are true, and it sounds like he has some proof because of the letter from HR, from the HR department. Yeah. Of course, Us2 are completely refused, saying that no, we didn't, that's totally not true. Of course, they're going to come out publicly and say it's not true, but yeah, this isn't so. And they're trying to say, oh, this is just one guy, but there again, union, the strength of unions is that he's not alone. Like the union is coming out in full-throated support of him, and saying that yeah, this was clearly union busting. This was clearly them getting back at him for being a part of a union and being a major part of a union, because yeah, the language in the HR email is clearly referencing the fact that he's basically a leader in a union, at least in a branch specifically for game developers. So that's really scummy. So, but yeah, but there again, it's like he wouldn't have this power. I mean, he wouldn't have the power, this backing if he wasn't a part of a union. Like this would have just been squashed. He would have just been out of job and had no recourse, really. But in this case, yeah, now he does, and he has the weight of a rather large union in England standing, right beside him. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, we need to unionize. Bernie Sanders even supports unionization of game developers. Of course, he's always been in favor of unions, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's, yeah, when you have a group, there again, and it gets into kind of what I mentioned earlier in that, like, a single person going up against a company, they're just going to outspend you. But when you have a group with you, a large group with you, it's like now the company kind of has to listen to you. They can't just write you off and say, "Ha ha, we'll drown you in court." So, yeah. So there is, so there's actually a kind of, they put a time limit on this too. They said that Us2 has to take back their decision, the firing decision, before, 2 days ago, October 4th, before they initiate legal proceedings. I'm going to say that Us2 didn't back down because it's clear that they aren't backing down. I don't see an update on that, but yeah. The legal proceeding is, the case is going to proceed. So there you go. I mean, that's why unions are important.
Indeed.
It sounds like all he was doing was standing up for, like, things that should be stood up for.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll hear more about this.
All right.
This one could turn into something big, hypothetically.
Yep.
Yeah. Moving on from that to something a tad lighter. They're remaking House of the Dead.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite arc.
I'm just curious as how they're going to do the light guns.
I assume we'll get more light guns.
But I mean, there's not a light gun that works with LED with LCD TVs
but
or LED
the Switch,
TVs.
not the Switch, the Wii worked, then that could be used as a light gun.
Yeah.
You could use the same tech.
You can. I mean, you would have to actually come out with hardware, and so that's a tricky one because hardware there again, there's you'd have to manufacture that, and so that I'm not saying that that's impossible to do. I'm just saying that
it's unlikely as hell.
It's tricky, and it's also it's all right. So I've actually done a disclosure here. I've done a bit of work with Wii remotes and using them on a computer, actually, and so I know a lot about the technology and exactly how it works. I mean, essentially all it is the Wii, inside the Wii remote is an infrared camera. And what's known as the Wii bar is actually all it is it's 2 infrared lights. That's it. And it uses those to triangulate the approximate position of the Wiimote itself. And it uses the accelerometers inside of it to determine where it's pointing. And so with all those calculations, like the angle, which you can get from the accelerometers, and the 2 dots, or the 2 lights, the infrared lights, you can get an approximate position of where it is in space, like up, down, especially. Not necessarily forward and backwards, that's a little more. No, it can get that too, essentially, but it can use those, basically as 2 data points for that. And then, with the accelerometers, you can get sort of the way it's, which way it's tilting, so you can get an approximate of where is this actually pointing. And and the Wii Remote works relatively well for that. But you can actually substitute 2 candles if you needed to, if you didn't have a Wii bar, because fire gives off infrared light. And so, so I've done that before. I've actually just set up a couple of candles, and it works exactly the same. But it'd have to be something like that, because as we know, there's no scan lines in an LCD or LED screens, or OLED. And so they can't work on the same principle as the old light guns. If you want to play old light guns games, you'd have to play them on a CRT TV that has scan lines. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I am interested to see what type of hardware they're going to
bring back.
For it.
House that always had the best light gun games, or best light guns for arcades, because they had the shotgun and the submachine gun. They kept adding or changing, I guess, which gun you were using in the game. And I have very fond memories, and it's nerdy as hell, but the shotgun one had an actual manual, pump action to it, that I just thought was fucking cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course, my favorite light gun type game is not even a gun, it's with a whip. It's the Castlevania light gun style game.
It is.
It's just wild. But also, I've played lots of light gun games. Time Crisis.
I like Time Crisis because of the pedal.
Yeah, I just like the ability to hide. I just think that's kind of cool.
At the house,
instead of when you think about it, other light gun games, you're just standing there firing, but not even caring about. Yeah, just shoot me in the face. I'm not even going to attempt to dodge anything.
I'm gonna stand here and shoot down this hallway, and then what? I'm gonna reload,
and then I'll do it down the next hallway.
Yep. So yeah.
That or the Uzi one you shook to reload. Either one of those, I'll be happy with.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Like, it's like dropping a mag. No, not at all, but okay.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
It's cool though.
Now that we've cleansed your palate some, let's get back to the not so great shit. EA. Another EA.
It's in the game.
Literally,
behind
apparently.
the paywall.
It's so because we don't seem to be able to go a full month without an EA scandal of some kind, typically a boneheaded one. FIFA, one of EA, I think EA's biggest moneymaker at this point in time, had a bit of a security problem where if you went to the FIFA website to fill out your player information, it very frequently had previous or other players already signed up's information. Ergo, the site wasn't kind of clearing its caches, I guess is the correct version of that. But approximately 16,000 people who registered for the upcoming FIFA 20 Global Series eSport tournament got their information shown to other people.
Well done!
Yeah. It's nothing super damning. Like, I don't think social security numbers, whatever the equivalent of that would be, but it was like names, addresses, emails, phone numbers.
Yeah, which is not good.
Not at all.
If we know anything about esports and sports in general, it's like, that's not good. That's super not good. Everybody got doxxed.
It's not
doxed, is it Fallout 76 level of account information exposed?
We
or are we talking...
fucking forgot to talk about the fact that Fallout 76 put out helmets that were then deemed to be too dangerous to put on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so
they had a black mold or something like that, right?
Talk about that.
Yeah,
like 2 weeks ago.
Really quick on that one. I think it was. I was watching a thing by. I think it's Jim Sterling on it or something.
Sure,
oh yeah, Jim Sterling.
So he talked about how it actually wasn't made by Bethesda. It was a company that got a contract to do it, but they were separate. They were helmets exclusive to the GameStop store. So if you bought a Fallout 76 helmet from GameStop, there's a very good chance there's mold in there. If it's the one that came with the Power Armor Edition, you're fine.
Oh no,
that one is not moldy.
That's what made it worse. Like that was the fact. It's like, no, this is something people bought after the fact. They're like, yeah, Fallout 76 is living up to what I thought that game would be. I'm gonna support Bethesda some more by buying these cool helmets. Oh God, why are they poisoning me?
Yeah. So it's just so fitting because that game is fucking cursed.
Apparently,
I think at this point it is cursed. One of the developers pissed off somebody in the real world, and they cast a spell on them, and now everything they work on is fucking tainted.
I think
Todd Howard pissed off someone. Is my guess.
More a fan used a monkey paw to wish for a multiplayer Fallout game, and this is what we got.
This is very monkey's paw. Yeah. That is true.
Yep.
That is a great analogy. I like that one. But yes, that helmet thing was a whole nother mess. Oh, yeah. But yeah, is it Fallout 76 level of information exposed, or is it like E3 exposing all the journalist information?
The E3 one's worse than Fallout 76, dude, because the people exposed are different.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is it Fallout 76 or is it E3 level?
I'd say it's worse than Fallout. It's less than the Fallout 76 exposure there, because those also have to remember that. Like, it's more, this is information you don't want out there publicly. It's not like, this is not the starter
like addresses, names, and stuff like that, phone numbers.
This is stuff you can harass people with, but not like Kitty's home kit to jack someone's credit card numbers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's not to downplay the aspect of this just shouldn't happen, period.
Yeah.
Like, just saying. It's the kind of thing you don't want at all. Where to go from here? Let's talk about loot boxes. And to talk about loot boxes again, we're going to talk about this from two very different angles. We're going to talk about Rocket League's approach to, I guess, adapting to new UK loot box rules, and then Steam's solution to adapting to UK loot box rules, and how they both kind of accomplish the same idea, but in very different and very, I guess, kind of conscious-wise separate ways. So,
Yeah.
let's outline these quickly. The Rocket League's one's pretty simple. Rather than doing loot boxes, you will have access to, what's the right word? Blueprints, that's what I was looking for. And there's kind of a rarity, like the blueprint will say, here's what you're getting, and there's a rarity aspect to what you get out of that, correct? Like, you're the one.
Yeah, essentially, some of them have special attributes. And so, it shows exactly what you can create from that blueprint. And, and so, there's also put in a system so they can't be traded. So there's no real-world value for resell. So they can't be traded around. So that's also, this is a good thing, they want something to be available for people to buy extra stuff because they want to still monetize one way or another. But in this case, they're like, here, you can get it here, you know exactly what you're going to get.
These will drop at the end of matches, you'll get this thing, and it's there's still a random-esque aspect to it, but not. It's the Destiny grind, where you know what you got when you got it, but it's one of those ones where it's like, but it might be a better or worse version.
Yep. So, you know what? That's a fine approach. You know what? I'm cool with that, honestly. I mean, it's no longer a loot box.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know exactly what you're getting, it's not really a loot box. There's rarities still. Now it's just more like a typical drop you'd get from any MMO,
Mm-hmm. And I think that's actually
chance of something.
You've hit on the most important aspect of it. I don't think anyone's objecting to the thrill of randomness. It's the predatory aspect that randomness can be used towards.
Yeah. So now it's like, when you play WoW and you do a raid, it's like you have a chance for certain things to drop. But it's like you don't have to. They're not in a blind box though that you have to pay for, and then you don't even know. Yeah. So it's a completely different idea.
Yeah, the idea that I think like I've always said, like, okay, so I've said it a few times before, but like my big issue, and just like Charlie said, isn't the loot box itself; it's the predatory practices behind the loot box.
Absolutely.
And also hiding, especially with full AAA title games where you're paying a full $60 for a game, and then having to pay. Like, for example, can you imagine in WoW and it's probably going to be a weird example, but like you do a raid. You play the raid, the gear drops, but you can't open the box the gear came in unless you pay for a key to unlock it.
Yeah.
That would be like the what the fuck, man kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like...
Well, okay, so that's actually a great jumping off point, because do you know how the CSGO loot boxes work?
No, I'm curious.
Okay, so this is let's give you a little back history. The ways, they're kind of like the Team Fortress 2 loot boxes, where you have to pay fucking money for keys to unlock these boxes.
Yeah.
So the new loot CSGO X-Ray is you now can put a loot box in a imaginary X-ray machine. It will reveal what was in the box. And you can then choose to either open that box with a key or not, because you know what's inside of it. There's a catch. You can't use the X-ray machine again until you've opened the box you X-rayed.
Which, that's garbage.
That's just more suspense, because then now you're like, now they're playing on FOMO and regret on top of that.
Beyond, you're missing the more sinister aspect. That means if you get a box you don't like, and you do the X-ray and you don't like what's inside of it, you still have to open it if you want to ever use the X-ray again.
Yeah. So they've locked the X-ray ability into, it's now behind, I mean, now you have to pay, essentially, to use the X-ray scanner again. So that's what they've locked you into.
What the fuck?
I don't think this is going to fly. I think this is going to get stuck in, like, I think the French regulators, this is where it's happening in France. The French regulators are going to be like, that's still a loot box. That's still predatory. That's still gambling. No. I hope this gets caught up in litigation. I hope the government, not in litigation, but
and here's the part I find confusing. I assume there's some sort of trading system in Counter-Strike. I don't know how that one works. But, like, is there a way to get rid of that loot box if you don't ever want to open it, or does it just sit there in your X-ray machine forever if you never open it?
Can you delete the box?
It sounds like you're stuck with it. You're just stuck with the item, this item you don't want, with the X-ray machine permanently attached to it until you pay money to use the X-ray machine again. That's garbage. See, way to be garbage, Valve.
I think you meant Epic Store there, Henry. No, you spoke correctly. This is the Valve Steam Store.
This is
Counter-Strike is a Valve game.
A joke, man. Yes, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I know.
Yeah.
So Valve thought this was a good idea.
This is their solution.
This is their work. So we all knew this was coming. The moment the crackdown on loot boxes began, this should surprise no one. The people immediately were like, "How do we skirt this?" And this will get us around it for sure. Yeah. This is fucking dumb.
Yeah. Oh, this is
what this is.
This is in some ways, in my opinion, worse than just straight up random loot boxes.
It's another layer of random loot boxes, but now you're basically cashing in on that FOMO / regret mechanic of human emotion.
So I think the worst part is the fact that you now have the ability to know what's in something, and like we've all done games with loot boxes. You get a bad box, you open it, and you're like, oh, fuck it, whatever. You now have to know that box is going to be shit, and you can't use the X-ray thing until you cough up money to unlock that box. That is so much worse than just opening up a box and getting bad loot, because you've made the choice at that point to open up the shit box.
Yeah. So it's forcing you into a buy you don't want just so you can use it again.
Which means you're now, if this was me, you'd use it once until you got something like, I don't want to open that, and then you're just right back to loot boxes where it's like, fuck it, I know I don't want this, and my brain would play some mental gymnastics to be like, well, okay, I know this is in that box, which means these boxes that I haven't kind of put the X-ray machine might have anything else. And am I willing to risk getting that bullshit? Like, imagine putting something in the X-ray machine and having something show up, and then opening a box blind and getting what the fuck was in the X-ray machine thing that you deliberately didn't choose to open. Like, how much would that piss you off? Because that would piss me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Because it's not like things are removed from the loot pool. It's just they're going, hey, you're guaranteed to get this.
I think this whole thing could be summed up with epic bad.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Bottom text.
Absolutely. That's the moral we should take away from this.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
All right. So
let's do a little palate cleanse. Let's bring you back up before we kind of bring you back down, I guess. PS4 crossplay is now officially out of beta. It's coming to things, which is awesome.
That's very cool. And it's already kind of been possible, but now it's out of beta, which means that it's for now all the developers can utilize that technology.
It's free for all, if you will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Or it was kind of on a case-by-case basis previously. It's now, fuck yeah, if you want to do this, you can do that. Which means I expect to see that in Destiny real fucking soon. Because they have talked about that on numerous occasions.
Yep.
But also, I don't mind the cross-save, so fuck it, who cares? Next up, we have some news from Sony. There were some departures. Neither of them necessarily negative, but both of them kind of surprising seems to be the right word for it, right? Like, no, there's nothing bad around either of these, unless I missed some part of these stories.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be surrounded by bad news or a bad reason why this is happening. All right, so one of them is they're both with Sony Interactive Entertainment. So this is with their developer, their technology, game technology stuff. So the Asia Japan and Asia chief, Atsushi Morita, has retired from. He's just so he's done.
Been with Sony
He's
for
done
60 years, apparently. Like, nothing suspicious there. Like, dude's just like, I'm
no, he
old.
retired. He was there. No, he's 60 years
sorry,
old.
Yes.
No,
Sorry, he is 60.
But yeah, he's retired, and so okay, that's pretty normal. I mean, that's the thing. But
I hope to retire when I get 60. I won't be able to, but I hope to be able to.
I'm not.
It's okay, Henry. I'll make sure I have a garage you could live in.
Yeah, but yep. So the other one is, and this one's more so.
This one was
more well known.
weird.
Okay, so Sean Layden. So he's departing Sony Interactive Entertainment as well.
And you may not know Sean Layden. Sean Layden has run most of the PSXs, or what are they called? The PlayStation Live shows.
Yes.
He's got.
So he's been very face of the company in a lot of ways.
He's almost the face of the gaming part of the company. That's where I know Layden from. Like, he's the guy that cares about bullshit like the Spyro remake and the Medieval remake. Like, he's the guy running shows and out there being like, "Yo, we got games, bitches."
So is he kind of like the Reggie of Sony, if you
will? I wouldn't
will?
go that far because he's not. I don't know. Like, he's Reggie-esque, I guess. Where if someone's going to say something semi-inflammatory, like "my body is ready," it was typically Sean Layden kind of thing. Like, he was the hype man out there saying slightly ridiculous stuff. Like, to cite a very specific incident, kind of like with the E3 where Sony got out there and just bitch slapped Microsoft on the "how do you share games." Sean Layden would have dropped the mic while walking off that stage instead of the guy that actually did it, kind of thing. Like, he'd have been like, "Bitches, we out."
Yeah. I think the one thing I recognized Sean Layden from was when they announced Marvel's Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
And he was out there, and I think he had like a cough, but he was super like stoked to tell people about Marvel's Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, by the way, today Marvel's Capcom 3 or Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3 is available in the PlayStation Store now for PS4." Yeah. And like the crowd reaction to people losing their shit because Marvel got released. But yeah, that's where I first remember seeing him. But yeah, it's a shame that he's that he's heading out. You know,
it's so, and I think it's one of those ones where it's.
Hold on, I got an additional update on this. So I'm just gonna throw this in here. Apparently, all right. So this is just reports saying that essentially there might have been some troubles and reasons why he's leaving.
Like what?
So, all right. Apparently, there's some sort of shakeup going on and transitional upheave, and something maybe having to do with the PlayStation 5 coming up. Possibly an internal power struggle.
So, and that's the thing. Like, that's the running theory right now, is that the company has restructured pretty aggressively lately, and there's not a lot of, like, this is going to sound horrible, like, older people above Sean Layden at this point. So there's maybe an argument to be made that Sean Layden kind of has run out of ways to progress within Sony, and it's time to go elsewhere. Like that's I think that's not suspicious. I guess that's a normal kind of business guy move at that point. Yeah, like it's like things are like video games are moving in a weird direction. Like we have the services stuff popping up. There's more. Like we're moving away from E3. Like just kind of the stuff that you'd want a Layden for necessarily is becoming less and less important in the grand scheme of things. I'm not saying Sean Layden doesn't have the skills to be important, but Sony maybe doesn't need someone as high-ranking as him to do those jobs, and there are plenty of other companies out there, I'm sure, that would benefit from someone with Layden's experience, kind of in being that spokesperson for a public-facing spokesperson.
Yep.
Yeah, like the best recent thing you may know him from was he's the guy that was out there explaining why Sony wasn't bothering with E3 this year.
Yep.
Like he's that guy. He is a guy you use in those instances, and like if Sony never goes back to E3, you maybe don't need a Layden anymore, kind of thing. Like it sucks to say that, but like when a guy that's so part of the face of the company no longer, like you're losing chances for him to be the face of your company. Like, and you have other people that are kind of on that equal level of presentational comfort. It's just time to look elsewhere, kind of thing. Yeah, we wish him the best. I've enjoyed his press conferences, which is a weird sentence to say. I've enjoyed corporate ease. Alright, last but not least on this week comes a kind of... This does not affect anyone on this podcast directly, but it's kind of a cool video games as culture moment, if you will. The Sound Archive of Australia will now be archiving video games. Does the Sound Archive just archive, I guess, the video game aspects of it, or is it full-on media? So, National Film and Sound. Sorry, so that answers my question right off the bat. Like, we have preservation for video games in Australia now, people.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, it'd be the equivalent for the U.S., like the Library of Congress doing the same, which, aren't they doing that?
I don't know if we're doing tweets.
I don't remember. But,
we have a couple independent kind of archive things happening.
Yeah. But yeah, the National Film and Sound Archive of Australia is a government entity, so that's notable. And so, yeah, I think that's interesting. Oh, I just want to throw this in because in the Sega news, Sonic's going to Jupiter's moon.
Had to find a way to slip that in, didn't you?
Yeah, just
finally sending Sonic where he belongs to die in outer space.
Away from us. Far away from us on a frozen moon.
As far away from DeviantArt as we can conceivably get to right now.
But, yeah, essentially... essentially he's going to be the mascot for one of the mission's principal tests, a radio and plasma wave investigation. And Sega gave their blessing to it. They're like, yeah, go ahead, use Sonic for that. So that's cool.
Okay, let's play a quick game. If you were gonna pick an IP mascot to assign to kind of spacefaring stuff, who would you pick? Because I fucking wouldn't pick Sonic for that. Like, Crash Bandicoot is obviously the guy you want painted on the side of a rocket.
I'm not sure if you want Crash and Rocket associated together.
Ooh. That's a good call.
Fine, Dr. Robotnik.
Oh, yeah, actually, that works
Sonic's
a little better.
Villains are a better fit to be on the side of a rocket than fucking Sonic.
I would also be down with Dr. Light or Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, hear me out, Super Mario.
No, he doesn't belong in space.
Nah.
There's no plumbing to do in space.
Bowser,
on the other hand,
there, though.
Dude belongs on a rocket ship, but fucking Mario?
Bowser?
No. Fucking Koopa Troopa.
or, hear me out on this one. Ready? Elton John dressed up as Super Mario.
No, just fucking put Elton John at that point. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you're just gonna go all in with that one, just put Elton John, Rocket Man on there.
Or Elton John standing next to William Shatner while they duet Rocket Man.
Sure.
I feel like I'm just living out Rocket Man fantasy.
Yeah, are we just taping like Shatner, Elton John, and the guy who played Picard, and like half the cast of Lost in Space to the side of a rocket now? Because that could be fun too, I guess.
Yes.
Let's fucking duct tape a bunch of celebrities to a rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the list of things you probably don't want to put on the side of the rocket, it could have something, a reference to Dead Space.
Ooh.
So
every rocket from now on should be named the Isaac Clarke.
Every rocket that goes out should also just have Moon's Haunted written on the side.
Yeah. The Moon's Haunted.
Moon's Haunted. Hey, Charlie's the Moon haunted?
Stupid haunted! It's so haunted, there's ghosts on ghosts on ghosts. It's like a fucking Russian nesting doll of ghosts on that moon. You kill one ghost and two pop, they're like, we're here, fuckers! You're like, man, these ghosts!
Oh, thank you, Destiny 2, for all the fun.
Where Callus was dummy thick, the moon is stupid haunted. Oh, I love you, Destiny community. It's not just haunted, it's stupid haunted.
Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna put the ghosts from the moon on the rocket to shoot at the moon, at the other moon. This moon's not haunted enough!
Yeah, we got to spread out the haunting a little bit. Maybe it's too clustered, so let's make sure more of our solar system is stupidly haunted.
Dude, if NASA got out there and was like, okay, we know you all want to go to other planets, but the other planets are haunted, that's why we're not going there, I'd be like, tell me more of these space ghosts. This is a legit reason not to go to Mars, but tell me more. Yeah, Mars is thick with ghosts. Okay. What type of ghosts?
Yeah, what we
ghosts.
first thought were clouds and stuff in the atmosphere. Turns out it's just shit tons of ghosts.
All that ice we keep finding is actually proof of the presence of ghosts. Because as we all know, based on supernatural laws, ice happens around ghosts.
Yep.
You stir in the back. What type of ghosts are on Mars? Mars ghosts! Don't ask dumb questions. And what type of ghosts are on Jupiter? Jupiter ghosts? Duh!
Yep.
Yeah. Every planet's haunted except Earth. North is also haunted.
Yeah, it turns out the planet that supports life is actually the least haunted of the planets.
We all know, based on ghost rules, you get pulled away from your source of origin slowly to other places that are not full of ghosts, because ghosts abhor a vacuum. I love this. I want NASA to be like, actually, we aren't astronauts, we're Ghostbusters, and be like, what? Yeah, we've been going to the moon to stop the ghosts there. We're going to Mars next.
Yep. Yeah.
Every rocket's been named the Ecto whatever. We know we give them fun names, but actually... I just love that Moon's Haunted wasn't just some bad joke Bungie made. It actually was. Like, it makes me so happy that they're like, no, you were lying about how haunted things were. You downplayed how fucking haunted the moons were, you fuckers. I expected ghosts, not this many. I was promised a...
We thought there was...
I was promised a haunting. This is beyond a haunting. This is a clutch of ghosts. Good God. Alright, enough about the moon being haunted, because I can go on like this for fucking ever. Because I'm in full-blown Destiny fan mode right now. We have no emails this week, but if you wanted to contact us, how would you go about doing that?
Let's see. If you pull up your email client, and in the to column, you simply fill in wickedawesomecast@gmail.com, then you would be able to reach us.
What's that email again, Henry?
That is wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
We have no emails this week because 3 people wrote in the email just Moon's Haunted. And while I super enjoyed that, I will not give you credit for it.
Fuck that. Give them credit. We've been saying that all fucking day.
Fair enough. For those of you that wrote in, like, hey, Charlie, you know the moon's haunted, right? Yeah, I know. I've been. It's fucking haunted. You're absolutely right. Fans are fun. Thank you, those who wrote in for that.
Thank you for reminding us.
You all are monsters, and I love it. That does it for this week. Anyone want to talk about anything before we get the hell out of here?
No, I don't have anything other than, like, more Destiny 2 in the future.
Yeah, definitely that.
It is my favorite month. I love Halloween. Halloween is blatantly my favorite holiday, so I'm super happy. I'll be working on costumes. I might actually, if I can think of a good idea for a costume, which I haven't yet, I'll likely end up streaming making it. So,
okay.
So I might be doing that. That'll be on twitch.tv/nomadhar.
And you can do that now because Twitch is like, fuck it, anything you want to stream, we'll do it. Just not porn.
Yep.
But maybe porn.
Yep.
Dude.
But but I haven't quite come up with a good idea for a costume yet, because it's also going to double as a costume for the next anime convention I go to.
You don't get married in October. Turns out it's like, oh, right. Halloween's like 2 weeks after my wedding. Fuck Halloween this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist. Halloween is canceled.
No.
Just walk around slapping bags out of kids' heads. Didn't you hear Halloween was fucking canceled? Shut your bullshit up.
Trick or nothing.
Tricker, get the fuck off my lawn, kid. Oh, you brought me candy. Thanks. I saw someone do that once. I could not
mugging a kid?
When I was younger, I saw a kid go up to a door and knock on the door to the trick, and the person just grabbed the kid's candy and shut the door in the kid's face. I'm like, holy shit. I was a teenager by the time, so I was out college admission. I'm like, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
I respect that grumpy old man. I'm going to do that someday. I'm like 80. Trick or treat. Rah! Alright. I've got nothing else to say. Who wants to close it out this week?
Cue the metal.